A cyclocross bike is designed for racing on tight, twisty cyclocross courses where quick handling and acceleration are the name of the game. A gravel bike is designed for riding long rides on gravel roads. Although these bikes look similar, there are some differences that make them shine in their respective categories. So in this video, I'll explain those differences in less than 4 minutes. Most gravel bikes like this one will have a sloping top tube that allows for more seat post extension, allowing the seat post to flex to be more comfortable by absorbing bumps. Cyclocross bikes, on the other hand, have a flatter top tube, allowing you to get your shoulder underneath for lifting the bike up for going over barriers and upstairs. The seat stays on this gravel bike are flatter, as is the top tube. That allows the frame to flex a little bit to absorb bumps, again, making the bike more comfortable for longer rides. The frames of cyclocross bikes, however, are generally stiffer by having a stiffer top tube and stiffer seat stays. This allows these bikes to accelerate quicker with the expense of some comfort. The head angle on gravel bikes is generally slacker. This allows these bikes to be more stable on fast descents. The cyclocross bike, on the other hand, has a steeper head angle. This allows the bike to be more agile on the tight, twisty cyclocross courses. The downside to a steeper head angle is the fact that the bike can be twitchy on fast descents. However, when racing cyclocross, you typically don't encounter speeds more than about 25 miles per hour. Oftentimes on gravel bikes, you'll find longer chain stays. This further increases stability on fast descents with the sacrifice of low-speed handling. Most gravel bikes today will have braze-ons for racks and fenders, and a lot of cyclocross race bikes like this one do not have any braze-ons for racks or fenders. Many gravel bikes like this one will also have 2 front chain rings, which means you also have a front derailleur. This allows for a wider range of gears to cover a wider range of speeds that you encounter when riding gravel roads. Now, there are some gravel bikes out there today that have a single front chain ring with a wider spaced rear cassette. Although it makes the drivetrain more simple, you do sacrifice by having a wider jump between gears. And because you don't hit speeds in a cyclocross race as high as you would on a typical gravel ride, I found that a single front chain ring on a cyclocross race bike is just fine. Most gravel bikes will have brake rotors at least 160 millimeters, both front and rear. This, of course, gives you more braking power because the speeds you hit on a gravel ride are higher. This cyclocross race bike has a 160 millimeter brake rotor in the front, but a 140 in the back. The 140 rear rotor has some marginal weight savings, but to me, the advantage is you don't risk locking up the rear wheel as much on wet cyclocross race courses. Many gravel bikes today, like this one, do not have quick release axles. Fast wheel changes are not as important on a long gravel ride. Whereas this cyclocross race bike has a quick release axle on the front and the rear, allowing you to do quick wheel changes in the pits of a cyclocross race. Gravel bikes will typically have wider tires, at least 35C. This particular gravel bike has 40C tires. The larger volume tires absorb more bumps, which can take its toll on you on long gravel rides. You'll also notice that the tread pattern of this gravel tire is smoother. You don't have to corner as hard on a gravel bike as you would in a cyclocross race. And having a smoother tread pattern will have less rolling resistance, which makes a pretty big difference over a longer gravel ride. Looking at a cyclocross tire, you'll notice it has knobs. You do have to corner pretty hard on cyclocross race courses, and you sacrifice some rolling resistance for that extra cornering grip. By UCI regulations, a cyclocross race tire cannot be wider than 33C. Comparing the rims of these two bikes, the cyclocross race bike has carbon rims. This allows for quicker, more precise cornering and faster acceleration, whereas the rims on this gravel bike are aluminum, and I found that aluminum rims do a better job of absorbing bumps. Most gravel bikes will have 2 or maybe even 3 mounts for water bottles. Years ago, you used to only see 1 water bottle mount on cyclocross race bikes. Fortunately, today, a lot of cyclocross race bikes coming out have 2 water bottle mounts, making the bikes more versatile. So those are the differences between a gravel bike and a cyclocross race bike. Those differences are subtle, but they do add up to bikes that feel quite a bit different. But I do want to add that you can race cyclocross on a gravel bike, and you can use a cyclocross bike for riding gravel. However, if you want to maximize your cyclocross race speed, you're probably better off on a cyclocross race bike. And if you want to maximize your long gravel road riding and be as comfortable as you possibly can, you're probably better off on a gravel bike. As always, any questions or comments that you have about the video, drop them below. Thanks for watching.